The killing of 3 Americans at the US military base known as Tower 22 in Jordan, near the border cross-section with Iraq and Syria, by a Tehran-backed proxy militia group in Iraq has sparked a series of retaliatory attacks by the US. How effective have these attacks been? Will these attacks stop the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen from attacking global shipping in the Red Sea? And most importantly, are we heading for a direct military conflict with Iran? What are the options ahead? Well, let's have a quick recap of what's happened so far. In the first wave of retaliatory attacks, US forces claimed they attacked at least 85 targets across Iraq and Syria. The first round of retaliation, they claim, included targets such as command and control operation centres, intelligence centres, logistics and munition facilities, and so on, all run by Iran's Revolutionary Guards or its overseas operation units, the Quds Force, or Tehran's proxy groups. Now, it's hard to get an independent source to evaluate the extent of the damage the US claims, but in any case, it seems that Iran managed to evacuate the key personnel and munitions in anticipation of the Biden administration taking 5 days to retaliate. Further round of attacks by the US and the UK struck 36 Houthi targets in 13 locations in Yemen, which the US and the UK say were intended to disrupt and degrade the capabilities of the Houthis attacking ships in the Red Sea. Again, we have no independent source for evaluating the damage, but time will tell if the attacks have made a serious impact against the Houthis to stop them from attacking global shipping in the Red Sea. By the way, it's estimated that the Houthi attacks is costing the world's global economy $10 billion a day. But regardless of how successful the retaliation by the US and its allies has been, let's be clear that a proxy war is Iran's playground. It is a playing field that Iran's ruling regime finds most comfortable to deal with. Iran doesn't really care how many of its proxy groups get killed. As the Israelis jokingly say, Iran is prepared to fight until the last Palestinian drop of blood is shed. And Iran always resorts to plausible denial in its responsibilities, saying that they don't tell the proxy groups what to do. Not that anyone does or should believe that. Also, however much damage the US and UK retaliatory attacks have caused, it cannot, so far, be more than the damage caused against the Hezbollah by the Israelis during the 33 days war. And Iran managed to finance and rebuild that, and Hezbollah has continued since. Khamenei's supporters actually credit him for having managed to destabilize the world and still avoid direct conflict with Iran for more than 3 decades that he's been in charge. So if the current proxy war we witness will not deter Iran and its proxy groups, what can the coalition do next? US officials, both political and military officials, have made it clear that they don't want to bomb Iran or attack any facilities inside Iran. Which actually makes me wonder, because you hear them often say all options are on the table, and then they make it clear that at least one option is not on the table. But back to the question, if the proxy war doesn't deter further attacks by Iran's proxies, and the US and its allies are clear about not escalating the war and getting into a direct conflict with Iran, what else can be done? Well, there's still one level up between attacking Iran's proxies and bombing targets inside Iran. Iran has 2 spy ships loitering in the Red Sea off Yemen, the Saviz and Behshad, which Iran claims are cargo ships, but there's plenty of evidence that suggests they provide intelligence about the merchant ships in the Red Sea to the Houthis. Satellite images show these vessels have remained largely stationary in the Red Sea, which is strange for a cargo ship. Why would a cargo ship remain stationary? The Behshad has also switched off its automatic identification system. Satellite images also show 2 Iranian warships, the Alborz and the Behshad, standing close to it, guarding it all the time. And let's not forget, the Houthis don't control any coastline on the Gulf of Aden, so the information to find and verify ships to target there must be provided to them in another way. Very likely by using ships like Behshad and Saviz. In 2021, the Saviz ship that was long suspected of helping to smuggle weapons to the Houthis and provide them with intel actually had to be towed back to Iran after a mysterious explosion that was thought to have been carried out by the Israelis. But the US doesn't even have to fire shots at the Behshad. It can neutralise it by what's called non-kinetic means, such as jamming its communications so it can't send intel to the Houthis. So, to sum up what's been said, these are the choices the US now has available. An open-ended military campaign against Iran's proxies in the region, bombing of targets inside Iran, or striking at Iranian military targets outside Iran that supply weapons and provide intelligence to its proxies. And the fact is, something has to be done, or there will be dire consequences for the global economy. If you found this video helpful, please press subscribe and leave your feedback in the comments.